Good morning and welcome to beautiful Beijing. It's a bit cloudy here. I'm walking by the Hutong area. I really love to check out this place. In the background there's always some restaurants, some interesting stuff going on. But on the topic of tracking things, KPI, like key performance indicators, so I almost see my life a bit of as a game. There's a lot of things you can track, you can get to new levels. And one thing I track every day is step count. So far today I've gotten in 19,000 steps here. I'm not sure you can see. But you need to have a goal, and my goal every day on the weekend is at least 20. Sometimes I'm crazy, I go up to even like 50 when I'm editing videos. But on a normal day, maybe like 10. So you basically know what your level is you want to reach, and then you go for it. Also, you need to have goals and track what you eat, or you don't have to, but I prefer to do it. There's a lot of cool restaurants here in the background when you're walking around in these Hutong areas. But I actually track my calorie intakes, basically how much energy my body gets in, and then I know roughly how much I need to spend every day. So basically it's like a budget but of calories for your body. And also, since I'm into exercise, I want to get stronger and build muscle, I need to get enough protein, so I track my protein, and that's also why I keep track of what I'm eating, because if you eat out typically you don't get enough protein. So there's a lot of traffic in the background, but another very important area to track is your expenses. So even if it's just a small coffee, like a drink or something like that, do you know how much you're actually spending? I'm a bit crazy, so I started tracking my expenses in 2014, keep everything in Excel. Yes, I'm crazy, but then I know how much I spend. And of course, hopefully at least over time, you can maybe earn more money, and then you can add on and save a little bit of what actually I have not spent. So maybe you're wondering, why am I drinking Coke? Yeah, of course, it's not the best choice. Water is definitely better, but at least it doesn't have any sugar, which means it doesn't have any calories, and I track my calories, so at least having this instead of regular Coke is 200 calories less, and I'd rather have like 200 grams of chicken, for example, so I get to my protein goal. So it all sort of comes together. Definitely very lush here in the background, but on the topic of not spending money, or at least keeping track of what you do spend, if you go out and have like a coffee every day or a drink or something, get up, it's like $1 per day maybe, that's 30 or something in a month. If you were to save that instead, I mean, how big part of that money you could save, like $30 or something of the money you have right now to save. If you're saying you don't have money, maybe that's a small step to just hold yourself accountable. And then the second question is, what is your goal? Do you have a goal for your savings? How much do you want to save per month if you don't have money? Maybe that is the first step you should actually do. Set that goal, check, and then find some small ways to get closer to it. Then another tip that is maybe even more important is, on the topic of budget, to budget your time. How do you actually spend your time? Sit down and audit your week. How much do you spend on work, sleep, exercise, family and friends, of course, entertainment, and self-improvement? Or maybe if you want to learn some new skill, maybe it's a new language, or learning how to be better with finances. Okay, you don't progress towards your goal. If you take away or readjust some of the time you spend on something, maybe you can improve that. So if you go to the gym 2 or 3 hours a week, but you want to have faster progress, okay, if you skip 3 hours somewhere else and add it there, you can spend twice as much time on that one. Maybe your progress will improve, probably not 100% but in the gym. But if you do the same with your finances, if you can cut out some expenses and save twice as much, you actually improve it by 100%. And if you know anything about the stock market, it goes up maybe like 8 to 10% per year. Anything you can improve by like 100% or 50 is crazy compared to that. So think a little bit of how you spend your time and invest it and your money, and then hopefully when you know what your goals are, you can get closer much faster. The world is small sometimes. I was just walking by here and saw this restaurant in the background. It's actually, we had the roasted lamb last Saturday. So on the topic of tracking things and calories in this specific case, for that day I basically fasted in the morning, so I didn't burn or take in any calories. I had a small lunch, and then I knew I was going to eat a lot in the evening, but it's not going to be too crazy because the total for the day, it's not going to be too much. So basically having a calorie budget for the day, and that's how I approach it. It might sound crazy, but it's basically the same as finances or a lot of other things in life. Sometimes it's basically a zero-sum game, which it is in terms of keeping your weight. So tracking comes back in many different ways. So the same way, if you want to save a lot of money, of course you have to put money aside to build up to your goals. The same way it works with actually your weight. If you want to gain weight or lose weight, you have to eat more calories, basically take in more energy. than you need to put it to use, which is building muscle. And if you want to lose weight, you do that by eating less, basically. That's how I keep track. So for example, earlier, before I'm out walking now, I cooked my own meal, because then I can track what's inside, know the protein and the calories. Made some minced beef, actually with some pasta. I don't normally eat that, but I wanted some energy for this video, so doing it for you guys. But then I know how much that is, roughly 1,000 calories, and then for dinner I'm gonna have 1,800, or 800, sorry. So 1,800 for the whole day, which is a lot lower than what I need for the day. It's, for me, maybe like 3,000, and I've actually been out walking, and I mean 20,000 steps that I showed you. I biked 2 hours and also went to the gym. So now I'm gonna burn more calories than I need. So basically that is just pure fat being lost. So it's basically the same as saving or losing money, same with adding weight or losing weight. I think sometimes the hardest part can actually be to start. So when was the best time to plant a tree? Yesterday. What's the second best time to do? Today. So start today. Might sound easier than it is, but there's also a saying I like: you don't rise to the level of ambition, you fall to the level of your system. So if you put a system in place, basically tracking, I think it's super easy. For example, with steps, you have it probably on your phone. If you have a smartphone, you just track it automatically. You don't actually even have to do anything, just make sure you check it out. But the same with your finances. I mean, there are many different apps and Excels. Make sure you use something. Same, if you're interested in the gym, getting stronger and progressing, have some sort of app system. Personally, I use everything. Just put it in Excel. And also, of course, for your weight, maybe you feel a bit stressed about that, but if you just start, make it a system, it doesn't feel like anything. It's just part of your daily routine. So make it easy to follow, make a system that works for you with a little hassle as possible. I think one of the best things with having a system is accountability, because we all know that without accountability, things tend to not happen. That's why you have yearly, for example, sales goals or budget. It's just not a random goal without the ending date. There is a date connected to it, and there's a target, and there are often consequences if you don't do it. So you have to make sure that you set the standard for yourself. What happens if you don't reach it? Maybe you shouldn't punish yourself, but I think it's more fun if you have a target. For example, for me, coming to fitness, for example, I'm going to Indonesia in 2 weeks, and I have set for myself the goal to be in the best shape of my life. And I've also actually showed it or shared it with other people, including you guys, so you can tell me you didn't reach it. Not that it matters for me, but it's a bit more fun. And I think that's why it's important to also set these systems, so you can track yourself and see, am I actually progressing or not? And if I'm not, maybe I need to change something. Yeah, it's actually starting to rain here. You gotta be very careful when you're crossing the street. No crossings here. You gotta look right and left. But I think also having a system and making sure you have momentum is very important. And on the topic of momentum, I'm gonna finish this video now before it gets too late. But basically, you make sure you have a steady pace. You don't just take a break and say, oh, we'll start again after summer or after vacation or after Christmas. It doesn't get back. Make sure you have some sort of steady, sustainable level of progress, and then it makes it a lot easier, I think. Fantastic. So coffee acquired and rain has arrived. I'm just gonna enjoy this, get a bit of energy. So I'm just gonna end on a bit of a positive note, even though it's raining, but it's very beautiful outside. This was 28 RMB. I know how much it is. There is room for the budget. Rather pricey, I must admit, but I also know it's black coffee, no calories, so it fits in my budget. And I want to end with a bit of a positive quote here. If it's up to be, it's up to me. So you gotta make it happen. Keep track of everything you do, or at least to the extent that you want, to get closer to your goals. And have a beautiful day, everyone, despite here it's raining. So if you want to see more of this kind of random stuff, give me a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.